the delegates debate for weeks. By the end of June, as temperatures and tempers reach uncomfortable heights, the convention seems in danger of collapsing.
People kidded about Franklin falling asleep in the convention and nodding off. It's true that he didn't say very much, but he said words at exactly the right moment. For example, when things got very, very fractious, as they did, this was a highly divided group of men. One time he said, "This is beyond mere mortals, and I think we have to leave it to the Lord and pray." This is a very non-Franklinian thing, and I take it with a sense of humor and a grain of salt. But nonetheless, it soothed the feathers.
When you come down to the critical decision of July 16th, the vote on that day to give each state an equal vote in the Senate is 5 states to 4 with 1 state divided. And the state that was divided was Massachusetts, which is the 3rd most populous state and therefore should be siding with the larger states. But Massachusetts was divided because its 4 delegates split.
The separate economic interests of northern and southern states become the basis for a second major debate.
The question of the apportionment of representation in the House of Representatives becomes the principal axis of disputes between the states which are eliminating slavery and those whose social systems are based on slavery. So the South was seeking some credit for slavery.
Mr. Gouverneur Morris was compelled to declare he could never agree to give such encouragement to the slave trade as would be given by allowing them a representation for their Negroes.
But the Southern delegates say no. We'd be crazy to come into this union without getting a certain kind of credit, recognition of slavery. So the 3/5 clause in the Constitution are really a product of the Southerners' insistence that slavery has to be accommodated.
People from the Carolinas, from Maryland, Virginia, Georgia, Delaware make it very clear there will be no union if they have to yield what is a fundamental prop of their economic system and even of their social order. And this is one of the sharpest debates within the Constitutional Convention, and it becomes so fierce that at times some people think there will be no United States of America. But eventually a compromise is reached, and it really is American blacks who are the losers because they are really sacrificed in order to create a union that includes the southern states. And so our Constitution emerges as a document that not only sanctions slavery, but protects it.
When we sit down and we compare the two kinds of compromises, the one that is a matter of morality we tend to think is the much more objectionable, the more offensive, because it seems to legitimate slavery. In a certain sense, it was really much more closely tied to the real politics that Americans would pursue over the coming decades. Whereas the difference between large and small states, which we see as this great heroic thing where, Connecticut gets 2 votes and New York gets 2 votes, I think is wrong as a matter of democratic theory, because it seems to be 1 person, 1 vote ought to be the guiding principle of democratic government. But it's also wrong as a matter of politics because it doesn't really predict or doesn't really anticipate any real division which will take place in the polity thereafter.